Hello, welcome to the phone, and it's Everton ClubCall. If you are an Everton Premier member, then get involved. Click the link that is in Premier. When you go into the waiting room, we'll call it, when you're in the green room or in the holding room, put your name in the chat so we know who it is. Because quite simply, Ned's in charge of it. Ned's just said to me, rules. Ned has just said, if they don't put the name in the chat, you're not getting in. So essentially, if your name's not down, you're not coming in. So it's dead simple. Get in the chat, and put your name there, and let's go. Let's have a chat. Let's sort it all out. Let's see what's good in the world of Everton. If you want to chat anything about Everton's books, then get in touch. John is here with me. He will take you through that. Ped is around. There might be a little sub in every now and again. You never know. Just depends. Anything you want to talk about, then get involved. Give us a little call, and we'll have a discussion. You might just want to call to give us your point of view. You mightn't even want to ask a question. You might just want to say, "Hey lads, I'm just wondering, is Harry Kane okay?" You might just, because people are concerned, a little touch on the cheek makes you almost unconscious. That means that maybe he needs to get himself checked out. You might want to call to see Ned's skills. You might want to call. We will. It is available to put in. We will put that in if enough people want to see what Ned got up to yesterday with Ped. It's content owned by the channel, and when you agree to work it, you haven't. I think we've got HR here. You can't. They're not. They're only real. Hang on. Just pause. John will back me up on this. Performance rights, image rights, things like that are only real if they are put in the contract, and we both agree. I think when you look at the small print will tell you signed your rights away the minute you've agreed your work contract. You did. End of story. End of story. We'll put it out anyway, with or without his consent. So there you go. Declan Ryan says, love you guys. Declan, I love you too. Good lad. Hope you're having a good day.
So when he filmed it, did Ned expect it to be published?
We told him before. The thing was, there was a challenge that got issued by Ned yesterday. I don't know why he did it. It's like me going, Jazza Dickens, friend of the show, right, has messaged us a few times going, come down and we'll do some bag work and stuff, and I'll do workout with me and we'll film it and all that. I'm defo gonna do it, Jazz's boss. But he also said, come down, we can get in the ring. I just said no. I ain't getting in the ring with a world champion, mate. I'm sorry, not a chance. Because he...
Whoa.
Don't
say
just
that.
Ignore him. Right? Because I know my limitations.
Yeah.
My limitations are brown paper bag. Can I get out of it if it's wet? Maybe. That's it. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Ned, sadly, doesn't know limitations. He doesn't know his limitations. And yesterday, he felt that he wanted to go outside because he thought he could take on Ped.
Well, I'm going to message Jazza because...
Can you just compare me with Jazza Dickens?
Yeah.
Because Ned's just said, quote, I'll take him on.
Yeah. Ned
quote.
now has said he can knock Jazza out.
I never said that, so I'll get on the ring.
In words. Words through it. Words through it.
Ned, I will make it happen for you.
Let's do it.
Oh, I hope this is getting recorded, isn't it? Let's do it. Do you think
It's there for everyone to see. It's there for everyone to see.
Matty, do you think you could take him? Oh, he's taking his headphones off now so he can't hear it.
Oh, HL3 says here, what do you think of Richarlison's social media posts on Monday before the match? Is there any way we can afford to buy him back in the summer? I don't think we can afford to buy him back. I'd like him. Yeah, you could get him at Jazza Defo. I'd love to see him back. It's a bit mad. I wouldn't be. I'll be honest.
Never say never.
If I was a Spurs fan, I wouldn't have been that impressed with Richarlison's social media post. The thing is, right, Richarlison goes to work at Tottenham, but I think he loved playing for Everton.
I agree.
The fans absolutely loved him. Every time you see him, he had his Everton. I imagine
He's ripe for a phone call from Stephen Pienaar.
I imagine if you knew where Richarlison lived and you just rang his ring doorbell or something and he come to the door, he would have a pair of Everton shorts on and flips and sliders. That's what even though he plays for Spurs, I imagine that's his attire, that or his Brazil shorts. Yeah. He works for Tottenham, fair play to him, but he definitely loved Everton. And listen, it hasn't gone the way I'm quite sure he or Spurs hoped it would go. But yeah, it was just a bit mad. I personally wouldn't have been happy as a Spurs fan just seeing this fella putting all these things up of all the goals he scored for that team we were playing.
The thing is, they're going to go through what we've lived for years upon years. A new manager will turn up, and if he doesn't rate him or doesn't want him or whatever, then they'll move him on, won't they?
I'd love it to be back to Everton, but I imagine it'll be somewhere in Spain or Atletico Madrid, somewhere like that. But yeah, he'd love to.
Fans will love him as well.
Listen, he's a hard-working, quality footballer, and there's not that many of them around who put the
scores goals. Yeah.
Scores goals. You get double if you play him. If he played for Everton this season, he'd have got double figures again.
Yeah.
End of, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
You know, and I actually, what's really frustrating is, just from our perspective, is the fact that he never. Like, I think Sean Dyche would have loved him because he gives everything, doesn't he? He's all in. I think Dyche would have loved him, but listen, he's moved on, and it's great from an Evertonian perspective to see him posting all that, because he genuinely does love. We've seen him already, haven't we, with Kale? And Kale said, "We miss you at Everton." He said, "Yeah, I miss you." You know, I don't think Richarlison wouldn't have wanted to leave Everton. I think if Everton was stable, I think it was. He wanted to do something, and we were getting further away.
Brand spanking new stadium or not, I'm sure Tottenham players were impressed by the noise of Goodison Park the other night when we scored.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, their fans aren't. I mean, Dance1211 said you're assuming Spurs fans are happy in general. Though, when I'm talking about that, they're not happy at the moment.
You
Spurs
listen
fans
to the phone-ins, and they're not happy at all.
Well, listen to them the other night singing "Levy Out."
Yeah, that's what they were doing on the radio.
Yeah.
So you listen to them, you'd think they were where we are. When the fans ring up, you know, we're rubbish.
They've had that thing, though, haven't they? We had it to a lesser extent, not to where they were, but you have that thing where they got to a Champions League final regularly in the Champions League.
And then they get to a final, so the next thing is win it.
You want to win something, and they've gone the other way. And they've gone the other way because basically they made a terrible, terrible decision to sack Pochettino. Well, they shouldn't have sacked Pochettino. It was the first sticky spell he'd had, really.
Never stood by him.
And they should have just gone, listen, this season's a write-off. Let's stick with him and see where we finish. And the way it played out with COVID and all that, who knows what would have happened. They got rid of him. They brought Marino in, which was totally the opposite to probably what they needed. And they weren't prepared to put up with the way he does stuff. And it's just got worse and worse.
But you've got a controlling chair who brings in consecutive managers who don't want to be controlled.
Yeah.
And particularly the second one, who's going to bitch and whinge from day one that he's not getting enough of what he needs.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
Phantom Gaming streams, it's Basic 6, put the link in there. You can find this hoodie and other ones. Everton Magic ones are our new ones. They're quite nice. And there's an Evertonian one as well, which is nice as well.
The bird stuff there yet? No. Oh, you'll have to wait for that, people.
The little, it'll look nice. That looks good. Yeah. He has got, I mean, he's got the Bullens Road one on, hasn't he? Martin Edwards says, all right, Baz.
Hoodie. I like the hoodie.
Yeah.
The same.
I mean, I'm not being funny. If you two carry on, you're both getting sent off, and I'll do it with Ned. This is a show. You just don't see this anywhere else. Across thing. I'm sorry, people. I apologise. Matty Bush says the Spurs fans are finding out the levy is dry. See, I like that. I like what you've done there, Matty. I like what you've done.
Quality.
Sophie says, for a fantastic footballer, can't believe Kane's antics. He's embarrassing. He was embarrassing the other night. For such a good player, that's just nonsense. Utter nonsense. I've seen Ian Wright defending him today. Well, you know, if he wouldn't have gone down, then Decore wouldn't have been sent off, so he wouldn't have done his job for his team. No, Ian, don't ever condone nonsense like that. Ever. If the Corey punches him, by all means, go down then. If he's cracked you and it's hurt you, but a little shove there. You couldn't knock Harry Kane over if you tried. Have you seen his shoulders on him? He's massive.
6'2".
Massive. I couldn't believe how big he was. Every time I see him live, I can't believe how big he is.
I actually looked up when I was watching the highlights how tall he was, because rightly or wrongly, I've always considered him not a particularly tall player sort of thing. But he's 6'2".
Huge.
You know, so he's got that touch, that mobility.
He's fantastic.
And he's an inch shorter than Ellis Sims, yeah.
Fantastic footballer. But I'm just not having that. It was embarrassing. Adam Lilford says the level of absolute calm I now feel watching Everton is very weird. I think it stems from the fact that for the first time in ages, I know which Everton is going to show up. Sometimes it'll be good enough and sometimes it won't. But under Dyche, I know it won't be for lack of effort. And I can't really complain about that. Yeah. Fair play. William Gilligan says, did anyone go down to the Liver buildings and meet a Wobie and get an Easter egg? Took my lad down, waited 40 minutes. He still hadn't turned up and we had to leave. Wonder what time he did actually arrive. Lad was well disappointed. This is something, listen, I'm not having a go with Alex Iwobi per se here. I'm having a go at Everton Football Club.
What is this? I don't know.
For this. So there was a thing today where you could meet him.
Oh, I
go
see.
down to the live buildings and it's like an Easter egg hunt and all that.
Okay.
But this is very consistent with things that Everton do. Everyone's late for everything. If you've got, if you put out John Blaine's going to be at the Liver buildings at 3 o'clock, make sure you're there at 3 o'clock. You can't have kids hanging around to see. Everton need all the good press they can get right now. You can't have the kids hanging around for half an hour, 40 minutes for someone who's late. And then they go and they're disappointed.
Every week the press conference
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this isn't like on Alex.
So it's not the manager.
Everything that happens. The press conferences are late. They've done it before. Oh, these are at this place at 7. They come at 8 o'clock. Oh, we can't control football. No, you can't. You can't make that easy. They're employees. You tell them to get there. It's with everything. And things like that for the kids, I think, is really disappointing. You've got to, if you're putting out, you're going to be there at the time. You've got to have the person there at the time. Right? If Alex Iwobi is training, you find out when he finishes training, you give him an hour to have a shower and have his lunch, and then you make sure then, right, it'll take us, if it says on the sat-nav it's 30 minutes from Finch Farm to the Liver buildings, you give yourself 45 minutes, and then you say, at whatever time, Alex Iwobi will be here at this time, and you make sure within anyone can be 5 minutes late. Can't eat with traffic if you're just not whatever.
But say something.
But that's for everything, by the way. It's not. This isn't just Alex Iwobi.
Say something happens. As soon as you know what your ETA is, someone can walk out the building, speak to all the kids, say, "Listen, he's come in.
This has happened or whatever."
This fella who's just told you, he has to give up after whatever 45 minutes. For all you know, Alex turned up for 1 minute later. And that makes it even worse, then, doesn't it? So
yeah.
But
But yeah, there you go.
John Dyche talks a lot, and the thing he did post-match for Everton TV, and he was talking about, because he's clearly drilling into the players certain behaviours, isn't he? Attitude, commitment, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And in any business, for any employee, any leader, the first thing that you have to do is don't make commitments that you can't deliver upon. That's the same as saying don't promise and then don't do it. So if you're going to broadcast that a player is going to be in a certain place at a certain time, then have two things. One is you put the logistics in, so they will be. And two, if something unforeseen happens, you communicate. Yeah,
absolutely. Dick L says Diogo Jota hasn't scored for 30 games now. Liverpool fans complaining. I think Jota would be an excellent signing for Everton. He would be a good signing, but Everton wouldn't get him. Liverpool wouldn't sell him, and he'd be a lot of money. Pat is on the line. John, if you want to pop them on.
Right.
Hello, Pat.
Hey, how you doing, John? How you doing, Baz?
I'm good. Good. What's up, mate?
Where are you, Pat?
Huh?
Where are you?
Oh, Chicago.
Okay, cool. I keep asking Ned to tell us where people are from, because you guys from North America dominate this thing, I think.
That's good.
Which is good. Absolutely.
Go on, Pat. What you want to say, mate?
Well, we had some really, really good results for us yesterday.
Yeah.
It was. You know what? That Leeds.
Leeds Forest,
Leeds Forest game was pretty good, and just thinking about that, hearing the American friends who have started watching soccer, football here and have gotten into Leeds because of the Americans there.
Yeah.
I just looked this. Luis Sinisterra and Willie Nanto cost Leeds United £24 million to bring in, and imagine if we had one of those, or if we had even like as erratic as he is, someone like Jack Harrison who could at least hit a ball at the net, sometimes or that. How do they have all now? Their defense is a shambles. But I was just thinking about that. Other teams are finding these players and are doing that, and we've done a good job shoring up our midfield and defense. But that's the worry here is the goals. Everyone here on Toffee TV has said it, whether we call in, whether you're part of the crew, it's where these goals are going to come from. And now without Decore, I mean, I like what Garner did in 10 minutes, but he looks more of kind of creative, shifty player than he is going to be a final product guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think for James Garner, it's very early days. Obviously, he had a really good season last season for Forest, albeit in the Championship. And I think he's just trying to find his feet first and foremost. It'll be interesting to see what he develops in. I think he played as an 8 for Forest and a 6. Depends how Sean Dyche uses him. It depends, what can he bring to this midfield. He's not going to be in the same mould as obviously Abdoulaye Decore, Amadou Onana. Is he someone who can get on the ball? Is he someone who can take pot shots? Which we don't really do. Onana's had a couple the other night, but in general doesn't do it. So we might bring a different skill set to that as well. And that's what you want, don't you, Pat? You want to mix. You don't want everyone being the same type of player, but athletically he's different as well, isn't he? The other two, Onana and Decore, are big. Obviously, Idris is all action engine, isn't he, little fella? But he's everywhere. So I think for Garner, I think we just got to let him settle into the side and have a look at what type of player he is and what we can get out of him.
If you had your druthers, who would you set up? How would you set us up going into the game on this weekend? How would you move Iwobi inside, or just Garner for Decore?
Okay, me personally, I'll go on to John in a minute because I've said it a few times, but me personally, I would put... Well, it's a straight choice for me. It's between Tom Davies or James Garner. I wouldn't move Iwobi. I understand the Iwobi thing. Absolutely understand it. But to put Alex Iwobi back in the centre, you've then got to move Damari Gray from playing up front out onto the right, unless you played Nathan Patterson there. But then you'd ask him to play a midfield role. He's not really done yet. You're changing 2 or 3 things. Whereas if Everton, if Sean Dyche just says... And I would go Garner over Tom Davies personally at the weekend. I think
the manager will go Davies.
Well, he probably will, but I'm saying for me personally, I think if Onana and Garner sat a little bit like a double 6, and then we let Garner get in front of them, passing and trying to thread. Because don't forget, we're playing Damari Gray, who isn't very good back to goal.
Nothing's sticking up there, is it? No.
But what he wants is the ball in between him and the centre back to run onto. And I think James Garner's more likely to thread those balls through. I think what Tom Davies will do, he'll run around and he'll put tackles in and stuff. But for me, I would go with James Garner personally at the weekend.
Goes with the percentages, Dyche, doesn't he? So, because I guess another potential would be just push Ben forward and put Mikalenko in, but you're starting to change other things as a consequence. Therefore, the percentages behaviour at Dyche would be make the minimum change you can, which means bringing a player in from outside. So yeah, I'm with you. It's Davies or Garner. I think he'll go with Davies.
Okay, what do you think, Pat?
So I do not want to see that little ponytail man running around and falling down every 45 seconds. That's the only issue. It's just his physical strength. I don't doubt his commitment to the club. He's an academy boy. I think he loves Everton. I think he gives everything he has, but I don't think what he has is very much.
Yeah.
It's he shows energy, and he shows he has an idea of what he wants to do going forward, especially carrying the ball, but a lot like Iwobi lately and Damari Gray, very, very good at dribbling into people, not so good at dribbling around people. And that's the only issue is that he sometimes looks like he runs out of ideas going forward, and then he has that sort of like that lack of physical presence where he just gets blown over by a stiff breeze, which, he can put in a good tackle, but he's not going to, shoulder someone off the ball. He's not going to, he's not going to shield the ball and be able to dump it off to Ghana or something. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to do that role, which makes me nervous, especially given how loose sometimes we are in possession. We don't need another player who is also loose in possession and can get bodied off the ball. That's why I think Garner has to come in. Other than that, if it's not Garner, I guess it's a Iwobi, Gray, and then Sims up top. But I think I agree with you guys. It's thinking about it, it's probably just most sensible for James Garner to come in.
Well, much to your disappointment, even if you get the starter you want, Tom Davis will replace him after an hour anyway. So because he's coming back from injury, but ex-Man United player, something to prove, all those sorts of things. He looked energetic the other night, didn't he?
Yeah, listen, like I said, we haven't seen a lot of him.
No, I'm not sure he's robust and was going to shoulder charge people either. He does look a more technical player, but let's see. The manager will decide, won't he, at the end of the day? But I think both of them will end up with minutes. So.
I imagine he will. And maybe Patterson will as well, because obviously I imagine he'll be back on the bench at the weekend.
What's happened with Patterson? I know it's like, I know it was a really bad injury on international duty against Ukraine, but it seems like when he's been back in the team, this is not the Nathan Patterson we saw the first 8 or 10 games of the season, even when he's been back in the side.
Yeah, he the first part of the season before he got injured on international duty, he was tremendous, wasn't he? Everyone was like, wow, this is what we bought. He come back before the World Cup, didn't he? And he wasn't quite the same, but that's fine, he'd been out. And then, he come back for another 3 games and then was out injured. Got injured against Brighton, and we've not seen him since, have we? So I think for him, I just think that's more to do with the way the team was playing for the start when he come back.
It's more structure now.
Now there's a bit more structure. But he's had 2 injuries that have kept him out for 3 months, 2 years on the run. So he's got to be a little bit more robust himself. But he's a young player, and
it's a big leap from the Scottish Premiership into the Premier League.
Yeah, he's only played 12 games for Rangers, hasn't he?
I think he'll get robust with Dyche's training regime. When they have their little competitive games. Yeah, there's no holds barred, is there? So just surprised we haven't had injuries in training the way they train. Yeah, sorry. It's my fault if something happens. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's the manager who's encouraging it, so... But,
you train as you play. Train as you play.
Absolutely. Train to play, absolutely. So that will have helped him with a quote on the grass and in with the first team for a number of weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
And so my last thought to leave you guys with is, what are we thinking about this weekend's game against United? No Casemiro again, so I think that gives us a shot, but there's still a lot of quality in that United side to put some things. I mean, Rashford scares me going up against how many more times can Seamus turn back the clock? I mean, he does it sometimes, but it's still, it just takes one slip of concentration. I think Keane's on that side too.
He is. That's part of the challenge that we'll face at the weekend.
Yeah. So what do you guys think?
I think we're more than capable of getting something out of the game.
Me too.
I'm not saying we'll win it. I'd have felt more confidence if the Corey was there.
True.
Because I thought when he come on in the cup game there, he was excellent. And then, but I think structurally we'll be fine. I think the manager will have it structurally right. The players have got to do the jobs. But like somebody said before, in general, you're getting a consistent level of performance out of the players. United have got tremendous individuals at times. Bruno Fernandes, horrible footballer, but what a footballer. They've got Rashford, who I love, who's brilliant, but Marcus Rashford can have them days when he's whacking things and they're flying all over the gaff. Martial has his moments when he's excellent, but they were dreadful at Newcastle. I know it's different at Old Trafford. They're playing Newcastle tonight, aren't they? Not playing Newcastle, sorry. They're playing... Who are they playing tonight? Brentford, is it tonight? Brentford, yeah. They're playing Brentford tonight, so we hope Brentford roughed them up a little bit. It could do with a couple of them just picking up slight knocks and miss the Everton game at the weekend. But it's about...
Intensity's not something that they will fancy.
No. So we've got to stay compact, tight, and then hopefully set plays. We are dangerous off.
We are, yeah.
We'd have to be...
Tarky is so good.
Exactly. And pick the bits up. The amount he wins, have someone around
Assuming
him.
he's going to win.
That's it. Just gamble on him winning it, because 9 times out of 10 he wins it. And you're getting the bits then. So that to me is where Everton can get something, definitely. But they're capable of beating us 4-0 because of the players they've got. So it's one of them. But
I know it's literally true, but all results are possible. Yeah, they are more than capable of hitting the sweet spot and putting them on us, like say Arsenal did, for example.
Yeah.
But we're also capable of grinding it and doing what we did at Chelsea, but actually winning.
Yeah.
So
Southampton, who are utterly terrible at the moment, went there and got a draw, didn't he? And I watched I know Fulham are playing well this season, but in that cup game, Fulham were 69 minutes before the madness. Fulham were in control. Should have gone 2-0.
Well, they won't capitulate like they did at Anfield, because the crowd will stop that from happening.
Exactly.
But that's in them, isn't it? This is all too hard and difficult, So
well, that's what he's trying to change, Ten Hag. It'll be a tough. Don't get me wrong. It'll be a tough game, and like I said, they could quite easily bounce us. But I feel more confident going there with Sean Dyche, the way he's got them at the moment in this run we're on, that we can at least stay in the game. And I think we'll cause them problems off set plays. So it's how we do the other bits. Can we slow the game down enough? If they get a little
errors.
That's it. If they can get ahead of steam, can we ride it out?
Sure.
The longer we get through periods of the game, if we can get half an hour in, it's 0-0. I think we're in a pretty good place. Don't forget the cup game. It was 3 minutes they were winning, weren't they? Because we had a lapse of concentration. We got it back to 1-1, and then the concentration went again a little bit, and they got back in front. But I think if we just stay compact and tight and play it at our pace, we've got a chance.
I think so.
Got a chance.
All right, guys.
Okay,
Early
nice
start
one.
with you, though, Pat, isn't
Have
it,
a good one, Pat. Take it easy in Chicago, mate. Take care.
Will do. Have a good one.
See you later.
Early start for the Chicago lads.
Ricky Kane, Ricky Kane on the super chat. Thank you, Ricky. Says, evening, gents. Some good results last night. How many more points you think we need to stay up? It's gonna go down to the wire. I hate to say it. I said 37 a while ago, didn't I? Or 36. Still, Southampton, in my opinion, ain't getting 36 points. Bournemouth, are they getting 36? Not convinced. But they could. It's only 9 more points. I think if Everton, what are we on? We're on 27, aren't we? I think if Everton...
9 more.
If Everton could win... If Everton could get 10, 11 more points, I think we'd be safe.
My computer says we get 38.
3 wins and 2 draws, I think we're safe with. That gives us what? 30. That gives us 38 points, doesn't it? 3 wins, 2 draws in 9 games, and that's allowing for 4 defeats, which is still a lot at this stage of the season, isn't it? Out of 9 to lose 4.
But my simulation, which has us on 38 points, also has us finishing 12th with that. So it's going to be so incredibly tight.
It is.
We need one of them to get detached, and it's got to happen soon, hasn't it? So,
well, you'd think so.
And it becomes 2, and then it's, all hands on deck for avoiding the last one. Our last two games of the season will be interesting. So,
but the thing about it is, it's getting, the quicker you can get the wins, the pressure becomes less and less and less. Of course it does. That's why Monday was a bit frustrating on one hand, because they weren't great Monday night and that we had a chance, but the way it all played out, 10 men and penalty, 1 down and all that, makes it more difficult, obviously. And
isn't it funny how all these teams who are playing us aren't playing very well?
Oh, what people say, yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love it when people say,
all the story is about how Tottenham down tools and give up.
I don't think they down. They just look like it. They look to me like a team with no confidence.
Yeah.
Got good players, but they're not really believing
That's
in
right,
what they're doing. And defensively, they're horrific.
They are.
The 3 defenders were appalling, especially Lenglet. The goalkeeper's done. It's been done for a few years. And that's where the frustration comes out, that you think, if we could have, the Corey would have stayed on the pitch, I think we go and win the game. But given the way it played out, to get a point, you just got to keep adding, chipping away.
Wasn't a bad goal either, was it?
Wasn't a bad one. It wasn't a bad strike from him.
It took you ages to send that bloody email to Deitch saying, please shoot more. Yeah.
It's almost like they've realised if they actually have a shot, they might score a goal. But they've been, since he come in, they have been,
Eighth,
created, haven't they? Created more chances, had more shots, and therefore have scored more goals. So you can't really.
A lot of players have scored now as well, isn't it? Was it 9 or something?
It's got to, though, hasn't it? For the simple reason,
you're getting 1 each.
You've got to share it round, haven't you? Because we don't have that one person who you can rely on. You haven't got the one fella thing, but if we create chances for him, he'll get goals.
So we keep seeing, don't we? Chances arrive where you think, as you said before about Richie or Dominic, if they were around, they'd be there waiting for them. Just tap them in. Missing lots of tapping opportunities, aren't we?
Yeah, that's where
keep going.
Sims comes in, doesn't
it?
But Steve P says Bazzier onto Mike Trezor for Genk, 8 goals and 18 assists. Didn't realise. I knew he had 8 goals. Didn't realise he had 18 assists.
That's crazy.
It's mad. Set piece specialist as well. He's got 3 and 6 for Belgium. Or he did do for Belgium's under 21s as well, I think. I think he's 1 and 2. I'd rather we went for someone like him over Ndiaye at the cost there. We wouldn't be able to go for Ndiaye, would we, for 30 million? But I understand your point. But yeah, he is a Belgian as well. It's worth taking chances. We're going to have to take chances on these kind of players, in my opinion. Same with, I was talking about this yesterday, Austrian players. Players who play in the Austria League, things like that. Whose fees aren't crazy. We're going to have to. At some stage, Salzburg and people like that. We're
going around the loop we've had before, aren't we? Players with the right attributes, which fundamentally
but I think
pace and
even more when you see like the numbers that come out the other day in the accounts, it lends itself more to going right 8 to 10 million at the players we go for, and not the £35 million players. It's got to be. Dick L says, I'm very impressed with Sean Dyche. Seems to have got a team that's organised, fit, and with some actual fighting spirit. My only concern is that games are running out. I think another 10 points will do it, but given how awful we are away, I fear we need to win 3 home games out the 4 remaining. I fancy us against Fulham and Bournemouth, but I'm not so confident against Newcastle or City. Maybe we can beat Wolves away, but if we still need 2 wins going into Wolves and Bournemouth, then that is 1/10 end of the season final 2 games.
Current form of the last 4 or 5 games, Fulham are in the bottom 2, aren't they?
Struggling, yeah.
They're
and
really
they will do without Mitrovic.
So we, again, fans will bring their A game and we just make it hard at Goodison. Then
we beat them.
That'll be one of the games.
That's 30 points then, isn't it?
That's right.
That's assuming we don't get anything at the weekend.
You can see the finishing line then,
but then you get 30 and you think, I tell you what, 2 wins and 2 draws.
That's what Palace will be thinking, isn't it? A couple of wins and we're all right.
That's it. You've got to do it, haven't you? You're saying like the away form, but the last 2 away games, Dick, 2-2 at Forest, should have really won the game.
Yeah.
And 2-2 at Chelsea, done well to come back. And who knows? So, Saturday's a difficult one. United, it's always a difficult one. Whether Everton are playing well or Everton are a good side or they're not a good side, it's always been a tough game. Once there in bloody 25 years or whatever. So that's never going to be a place that, well, it isn't. It hasn't been. And it's not really a place where you look and go, yeah, we'll win. This is a game we should be winning. No one would ever say that, Evertonians, I don't think. So we have to just see what we can get. If we could come out of Old Trafford with a point on Saturday, that'd be 5 games unbeaten. That's a lot for a club where we are, going into Fulham at home.
And going into that run thinking we'd get the points we've got, getting 3 points.
We've had Arsenal. We've had Arsenal twice. We've had Chelsea and Tottenham, and we're on 5 points out of those games.
There as well,
and Liverpool was there as well. So we've had some tough games. Points wise, we're all right. It'd be nice to rack another win up. Of course, we wouldn't just keep it ticking over. Like John said, maybe that'll be next week against Fulham. But if Everton could get out to Saturday with a result, whether that's a point or whatever, then you go into that Fulham game thinking, right, get these 3. These are a must. Beat them. Imagine if Everton took 4 points out the next 6 and you're on 31 points after Fulham.
And you got Leicester to look
forward to. You've got Palace coming up. You're thinking, tell you what, Leicester. Go to Palace. Who knows? And that's how you'd have to think. But we can only really take one game at a time, can't we? We can't get ahead of ourselves. We're doing all right. We're staying in games. And that's where we are.
It's that consistency that's helping, isn't it?
Got to keep chipping away at everything. That's the way you do. We've got Brian on the phone. Brian, how are you? Hello, Brian.
All right.
Okay, you there?
All right.
Yes, I'm here.
That's right. Come on then, Paul McCartney. What's happening?
Help! I need somebody.
There you go. I hope you don't need anybody, Brian.
Don't give up your day job.
No. Go on, mate. What do you want to say?
I need a singing coach.
Your words, not mine.
No
good lyrics, though.
No sherbets today. Go on, mate. What do you want to say?
A couple of things about the Tottenham game. I've been reading about, and people been saying about a poor quality game it was. Well, yeah, the quality of football was not outstanding, but you know what it was? Entertaining. We were on the edge of our seats. We were getting all emotional, and this is what football does. This is what it's about. This is
absolutely
why
right.
Supporters go with the game. Yes. And because of the way Everton are playing now, which is very Moyes-esque, lots of what you now call pressing, which in our day, we used to tell them, we say, well, get into him, if you remember the phrase. Go on, get into him. Have a go, get into him. And this is what it's called pressing these days, the modern term. And what that does is it creates atmospheric energy, not just on the pitch, but in the crowd too. And all this chasing and harrying, it opens up the pitch. And because players are not maintaining their positional discipline, they're actually leaving their positions and chasing the player with the ball, putting pressure on them. This opens up the pitch. Now, when you do actually get the ball, especially when you're in defensive mode, you win the ball, because there's a lot of the spaces opened up in front of you. You notice several times that there was actually some really good one-touch play going up the wings, from the wide to the centre midfield, out to the winger again, playing a 1-2 with the midfielder who's run for the return. And that, to me, it's beautiful to see, because you're combining both the more, say, tedious, boring part of the game, which allows you to create the more beautiful part of the game, which is the joined up stuff. And I think we're developing that more and more. And I personally, I'd rather see that, all this chasing and harrying, than what we've had to put up with on everything since Moyes, basically. Certainly Martinez, that was awful.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I quite like 2013.
What anyone says about poor quality football, we are doing well. It's good to watch. It's exciting. It's emotional. And this is what our football's about.
Yeah, I mean...
okay. Carry on.
I understand what you say. If you watch a lot of Premier League games, they're not great to watch, the poor quality. Even with the top teams, the games are poor. There's a hype about the Premier League. Said it a million times. People go on about, it's amazing. It's not amazing at all. Most games are very boring. But there's times when it is blood and thunder. There's times when it's goals going in. And sometimes the lowest quality, if that's what you want to talk about, rather than technical ability, the lowest quality produces the best games, because there's errors. There's goals. You watch the Brighton-Brentford game at the weekend, the 3-3. Some of the defending in that was terrible, but yet it was a great game. And Everton Spurs the other night, it wasn't amazing. I wouldn't sit here and try and blag people. It was amazing, but it had everything, didn't it? They've had Shendon's off and, 2 goals and Harry Kane rolling around. And
sitting in the ground, I wasn't sitting there going, oh my gosh, this isn't a particularly good quality game.
Did you not notice that the game was over rather quickly?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You're immersed in it. That's what it's about.
This is what's telling you. You're enjoying it. You're involved.
Absolutely right, mate. Absolutely right.
It's not like watching a Martinez, Lampard, what's her name? The Portuguese fella. Anyway, so we're getting rid of that, thankfully. Yeah, we're getting rid of that, hopefully. And long may it remain in all other places but Goodison Park.
There's a conversation there, isn't there, mate? Because you got
what do you want for your football?
Yeah, I mean, Baz is going. They're not
your day out, your afternoon entertainment. What do you want when you go to the match?
Yeah, I want my emotions to be played with, and then we win.
Yeah, well, or a last-minute equaliser which nearly breaks the back of the net.
Because let's face it, if they're good quality games, we lose a hell of a lot more than we win.
Yeah.
Because if the best team always wins, then they have who have the best players. City walk the league every year, sort of thing. But fortunately, in this league, because of, as you just said, Baz, the blood and thunder bit, and call that lesser quality. But that's about exercise and physical attributes. It's about mental attributes, about commitment, and
isn't what makes the Premier League watchable is that everyone doesn't play the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can be Man City are obviously the best footballing side if in terms of technical stuff.
That's what I mean,
they do.
Yep.
Do I want to see everybody 20 teams play like Man City? No, because it'd be boring. Arsenal are playing brilliantly, and they've got a little bit of a different mix than City. They had a couple of different styles merged. Liverpool, when they were at the best, was a different style, a little bit more direct, but loads of goals.
Counter-attacking goal, Jack.
Well, whatever it is. But what I'm saying is, it's all different. Spurs under Pochettino, very, direct, but fantastic to watch at times. Quick transitions, goals. Everyone plays the game slightly differently, and that's what is the enjoyable thing about it. There isn't one size fits all. It might be blood and thunder. We've seen it. We're old enough to have seen Wimbledon come in and bring all their antics into it, and Bolton under Allardyce were all about margins, and Stoke elbows and long throws and things. But that was all part of the challenge of the Premier League, wasn't it? And sometimes teams will come and defend fantastically well, but why is that looked at as a negative? Because it's very difficult to go and defend brilliantly in a Premier League for a whole game when you haven't got as good a quality players as the others. So, there's no way that you can always distill it down and go, that's the best league in the world, the most technical, the most quality. I don't think you can do it like that. But there's also no way that you can tell everyone how they should play. There's no, you know what I mean? I don't think really you can sit there and go, well, everybody should aspire to play like Manchester City, because why? Does everybody like that football? The City fans like that? They like winning, and I'm sure, and don't get me wrong, I'd like to try it, by the way. I'd like to go to the match and think it might be 5 today or 6, and there's not to worry and win trophies, but I think everybody's got their own thing, and I think that's what, you look at the likes of, say, like Jurgen Klopp and whoever else goes in at Chelsea now, and maybe Eric Ten Hag, and they'll be looking and going, how can we now come up with a way that combats what City and Arsenal do, because we're not going to do it the way they do it. That's in some respects the beauty of football, is that you do. People have to solve different questions.
I think it's the best league in the world is a bit, as you say, spurious, right? But it's certainly the most watched.
Yeah, most watched, absolutely.
And therefore, whatever it's
and most hyped.
Well, in some respects, they go together, don't they? Because it's a big marketing engine. And it'd be interesting to ask people why they watch it, sort of thing. I mean, many of us, born not manufactured Evertonians, we don't get much choice in the matter. But, in those countries where people consciously choose not just which team to watch, but which league to follow. I guess there's football fans in North America who just watch the Bundesliga because that's what they like, or the
Bundesliga is brilliant to watch, entertaining.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Although saying that, Bayern Munich,
entertaining.
Bayern Munich,
but that's the one with the balance, isn't it, between excitement and technical skills.
Yeah.
But they've also got one team who win it every single year.
Yeah, but technically, I'd say La Liga is better than.
Yeah.
I like Serie A, but it's a bit too slow and tactical for me. Like, if you want to watch, I appreciate it. And Napoli are fabulous, although they got beat 4-0 at home by Milan the other day, but they're still going to win the league. I think La Liga technical ability, watching the players, way they look after the ball and everything, brilliant. But again, it's generally won by one or two teams, isn't it? Three if you throw Athletic comes in there as well. But Germany's blood and thunder. That's why I love MLS, because it's a mix of like everything. Do you know what I mean? And it's you can't go, they'll win, they'll absolutely walk it again this year. They'll walk it because it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah. With
MLS, there's a lot in it, and young playing, that's changing as well. So if you want to actually just sit down and watch footy and go, I'm going to sit here and watch a game of football that's entertaining, and it can be end to end a lot of the time, and you sit there and you watch it and you enjoy it. Depends what you're looking for.
For so long, the Premier League was 3 divisions in one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The top 3 might get into Europe.
This year it's 2.
The bottom section who are going to struggle with relegation, and the ones in the middle who, perhaps at this stage of the season, didn't have much to play for. Now it's distilling down to 2. You know, and there's a, whatever it is, 8-10 point gap in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, and it'd be interesting next season.
What does it do? Yeah.
Is that the norm?
Is that
now,
the norm?
You know, and you know, will Brentfords of this world be able to sustain it? Will Brighton and so on? I mean,
Kingsley says the Australian League is where it's at.
Well, there you go.
Everton did score 5 against an Australian side. Everton team that doesn't score goals, but as a league, yeah, I imagine it's probably very entertaining.
Competitive leagues at any level can be entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Which is the best league you like? Is it literally the Premier League? Is that
how
for
do you
you?
Define it though. That's the thing.
The what?
How do you define?
No, I'm talking to you. I'm saying for you. Now
me.
Brian might go. Well, I live in Sweden. The Swedish league's amazing.
Yeah.
Malmo were unbelievable. I don't know. He might say that. He might not say that.
I'll tell you what.
Hang on, sorry, Ped's asking me a question. One sec, Brian, go on.
Would you watch a league for 20 Man Cities?
No, I've just said that. I wouldn't be interested in watching 20 Man Cities in one league. As much as I love them, the brilliance of what
basketball,
McPartland. I just wouldn't. It's too
to you, to me.
It's too planned. Like to watch everybody do it. That's why City aren't. You watch them and go, what are they going to do today? Because he's coached them to within an inch of the life, hasn't he?
And when it comes to, you could say that City are the most technical team in this league. Yeah,
in Europe, I'd say personally.
Well, yeah. Well, the reason I didn't say that was because when it comes to it, and you get to the back end of the Champions League,
they've not been able to
flounder because I don't think Pep himself trusts in them, because he always changes. It's like he's done it here when he used to play that a lot across there. He changed how City played because of them. And so maybe that's just because he knows what the weakness is in their style of play. And if someone gets the hex on you, then he keeps...
Well, Real Madrid have often had the perfect mix, haven't they? Yes. They've got all that technical ability. They merge it with know-how. They've got a bit of strength as well in there. And you've got Carlo Ancelotti at the helm there for them. That's why they're able to overcome Liverpool. It looked like they might win 4 things last season at one stage, didn't he? And yet he was able to just go, I've got this. And Pep has under-delivered a little bit when it comes to that, given what they've got. But this year, I think they're in a situation where they've got a great chance of winning Champions League this year because of Haaland as well. That little bit extra, but that's interesting. Off-key, VVO says the Championship for me, perfect blend of quality, mistakes and chaos. Yeah, they have as well.
Not much quality.
There is a time. No, there is, mate. Honestly, Burnley play some great stuff this year. Really have. But Middlesbrough as well. I think Huddersfield come back to batter them at the weekend. But they were 1-0 up against Huddersfield at the weekend and got done 4-2, I think, in the end. But you do have that chaos as well, which is sometimes what you need. You just sit down to watch a game. Do you really want to see a perfectly tactical 0-0 draw?
Absolutely
I don't.
Not, no.
You want to see 7-6 or something mad, don't you?
That's what your man said.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, Brian, you're right.
Brian's saying we want a bit of emotion.
We do.
And it comes...
Edge of your seat.
Often it comes, as you say, from mistakes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good man.
Okay.
What I would say
go on, Brian, go on.
Started, when he got a lot of the continental players and then coaches coming in, we all wanted to start wanted to stop playing like they play in Europe, in Southern Europe.
Yeah.
But what you got to consider is climate. Their way of playing football is dominated by the climate, which is hot, so you don't run around a lot because of the way. Northern Europe, we have to run around a lot. When you're playing in winter, snow and ice, you got to, otherwise you freeze your wallets off. You know,
absolutely.
It's a survival contest, really. It's like going to an SAS course, isn't it? It's playing football when it's cold and wet and windy, and it's you're in a shirt and a pair of shorts. So it's a survival. But one thing I have noticed is we're doing now after Lampard and the Dyche is that we're actually starting playing more British way in one particular way which no one's mentioned. Is that if you notice now, when we get the ball, we turn forwards towards the opposition and pass it forwards.
How radical is that?
Have you noticed? Why isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? So you've got a lot of other callers waiting up. See, so I'll be I'll jump up in a minute.
Okay.
So that was just like turning forward and passing forward and taking the game to the opposition rather than trying to pass the way to the opposition sideways and that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Get it forward, get crosses and shots in, get us off the edge of our seats.
Forward with pace.
Yeah, that's it.
Forward with pace.
Exactly.
A mate of mine is the Tottenham supporter over here. He was also embarrassed about Kane's behaviour.
Yeah, shocking.
Just drop that in.
Yeah, shocking. Doesn't need to do it. He's what a fantastic footballer. There's just no need to do it.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Pathetic. And then, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you were on about communication earlier. Well, the Everton always have this pre-match show, which is hosted by Sarah. So I actually tuned in because I was hoping Mick Lyons would be on, one of my former favourites.
Yeah.
Who John will remember very well.
I do.
And I thought, I'll actually tune in. Mick Lyons will be on. No, there was no sending at all. It was on YouTube. It was on the home website. Click here. It was black. Nothing at all. It never got sent. I don't even know if they did anything. There was certainly no messages going out that I saw.
Crazy.
Appalling.
Mad.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. That too is embarrassing.
Need to recruit some more media people.
Stop it, John.
Well, someone who knows how to press the on switch.
That'd be a start. That'd be a start. Right. Nice one, Brian. Cheers, mate. Take care out in Sweden. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra. TJ Sadler says, love the content. Guys don't usually comment, but thought I'd mention the video Richie posted on Sunday night. Has me singing on it. How mental is that? Yeah, brilliant. If you're singing on his video, it's superb. Dick L says, thought Tom Davis was good when he came on against Spurs.
Did a job.
I'd have him ahead of James Garner on Saturday. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Everybody has got their opinion on how it would play out, and who they'd have in. Fair enough. Georgia says, I'm a Marine fan too, and Northern Premier League has massive variety. From South Shields who are full time. Teams like FC United and a bunch of smaller teams who fight hard. That's it. At the end of the day, it's thingy, isn't it? It's what you enjoy watching, isn't it? You sit down and watch a game. No one's going to be right. No one can sit there and go, the Premier League's the best. Why? Why is it the best? Because you're told it's the best, that's why. Or no one can say La Liga is the best, or I can't say Bundesliga is the best. It's what you enjoy. Everyone's got a personal preference, haven't he? James Barris says, I love how we are a threat even from free kicks from behind the halfway line now because of Pickford. Yeah. And IDP says, don't know if you've mentioned it already, but the Richie posts and that, what's your opinion on bringing him back next season? I don't think we could afford him, mate. I'd love to bring him back. I just don't think we could afford him. If they give it the old Stephen Pienaar, you can take him on loan with an obligation to buy, then you'd have him all day long, of course you would. But he might get a different manager who actually goes, I want this fella and I can make use of him. He might not. Let's see what happens. But I just don't see him coming back to Everton, but I would love him back here. But I just don't see it happening. We have got, who's it, Ned?
Chris.
We have got Chris on the line, so let's go to Chris.
How you guys doing? You all right?
How you, mate? Yeah, I'm all right.
Hi, Chris.
Good. I'm very, very tired, man. It feels like it's been ages since I've been able to do one of these. So
okay.
Been basically like a couple of, I think about 2 or 3 weeks, no, probably like more like a month ago,
Mm.
a mate of mine kind of goes, "Hey, have you got time to learn 26 songs in 19 days? Because we need you to depth for a System of a Down band." And that just consumed my life for like 2 or 3 weeks. I literally didn't even have time to be annoyed at Everton in that instance. And then
Fair play.
after,
Did you learn them, Chris? That's the biggest question.
yeah. I learned
Yeah.
I learned them all in time, practice everything, and then I did a 3-day tour run. Got another one this coming up in April. And then,
Fantastic.
funnily enough, as I came off tour, my mate goes, "Hi, can you learn like a couple of new songs for my gig as well, and do these 3 rehearsals, and then do a gig on Thursday?" I'm like, "Oh, just let me go to sleep."
No, it's good to be in demand, mate. It's good to be in demand.
To be fair, it's been good. It's
Ned's good. Ned's good. He can learn one song in that time. So there you go. Only because he's staring at me. He's only because he's looking at me.
Well, he's a much better singer than I am. If you guys heard me sing, you guys would cry.
They are, Ned. You're a much better singer. I don't know whether that's true, but I'll take Chris's word for it.
Better at telling
He's a much better singer.
You are better at telling jokes than Chris. That is 100% fact. Sorry,
that's
Chris.
easy.
Sorry.
My jokes, no, completely. My jokes are terrible. Like my band will attest to this. I tell one good joke a year where everyone laughs and everyone goes, "That's quite good for you." And I'm like, "Yeah, see you next year."
That's the killer, isn't it? That's the killer. That's quite good for you. That's when you know that
It's crap.
it's time to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you want to say, mate? What have you got to say?
Basically just to echo the thoughts that Brian was mentioning, really. Like it's actually, I think we're a good watch. Like it's entertaining for me to like watch Everton play at the moment and still feel like we can get something out of the game. Like Monday night is a really good example of it. We were down to 10 men and we just went for it. Like the old Everton teams that I've seen in the past would give up or crumble or be like, the world is against us, we're going to give up. Whereas almost like it just spurred the players on to go, lads, it's Tottenham, let's go for it.
Yeah.
It was really good to see. I mean, some of the things I haven't been too happy with is I've seen some people trying to like defend Decore with like saying, "Oh, like Hurricane's antics are just pathetic." Like just rolling around on the floor and the way he was like he'd been shot. It's like, dude, you got flicked in the eye, get over it.
Yeah.
But no matter what a player is doing to you, you should still maintain your composure and not go for someone in the face. Like there is no excuse for that. Like that really annoyed me. It's like, considering the position we're in, we need our players to be professional in that situation. Like that really did wind me up. But luckily, Michael Keane decides to bang in a 30-yard screamer, which is just incredible. And yeah, it's kind of weird the amount of like noise there was about, like, even when he was at Brighton. I never, like, when some people were saying Graham Potter should manage Everton, I never wanted him because I never liked his football anyway. I found his football really boring to watch. And then with Sean, like the way he sets up the team, it's just there's more energy, it's enthusiasm. It's basically just it's organization and just trying to get that ball forward into dangerous and threatening areas. To me, that's way more entertaining than anything like silly tippy tappy pass around the back stuff, which a lot of managers seem to like enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, it'll come back to what you enjoy, won't it? I think Everton. I
enjoy winning.
I can't. No, well, of course you do. Of course you do, right? And you can't speak for Evertonians. You can only speak for yourself,
That's
can't you?
right,
But the feeling you kind of get is that Evertonians like more dynamic football. We like crosses. We like shot. We like stuff that gets us on the edge of our seat. And it can be sometimes the blood and thunder gets Goodison bouncing, doesn't it? I think that's the kind of football. If someone said to me, what kind of football do Everton fans appreciate? I'd say the majority, just from my experience, would be that kind of football, in your face, pressing high. Not even
Isn't that
pressing
fans
high
in general,
in a way, but
not just Everton fans?
I don't know. I don't know, because if that was the... I don't know is the answer, because teams like certain things. We like a number 9, don't we? If you look at like historically, like Newcastle, I think are a bit like us. They're fans of like, they've had that big number 9 striker. They like crosses and things like that. Where Liverpool was always their number 7, wasn't it? And they like a slightly different. They were a possession team, and even though Klopp was a bit more direct with that. I think teams like certain things, or it seems to be portrayed that they like certain things. Whereas the reason why I'm saying it is because Some Evertonians loved Martinez's football. I despised it.
No.
It was terrible. It was terrible, and we've had versions of it since, like slightly watered down, but we've had versions of it since. But I think we haven't had enough of this, what we've got right now, because I think this is the way Everton, certainly at home, I'm not saying you can always play like that away, but at home, you've got to use what is your strength, and our strength is involving the crowd, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but that's always the case, isn't it? Whatever style you're playing. I just think that when you break it all down, it's just about whether you're winning or not. You look at Mourinho, who has, in his pomp, a pragmatic approach to playing football. Yeah?
Yeah.
A sort of approach that actually, which is your point in some respects, you only put up with if you're winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right, yeah.
So, I've got a few City fans who are mates, and they get frustrated with their possession. Keep the ball. Don't change when you're losing 2-0. Just keep playing the same way because it's been good to you in the past, blah, blah, blah. So they don't have that step-up thing, And so the manager's gone out, or the club's done it on his behalf, and got someone who can do it differently. Just give it to Haaland and leave him to it, sort of thing. But I just think at the end of the day, you want things to be exciting, and exciting perhaps is the opposite of technical competence, isn't it?
Yeah.
20 passes and then we have a shot. Yeah.
I didn't like Martinez's football, so, and we were winning games at times.
Yeah.
So
his first season you enjoyed.
The last, people have rewrote history. The first 4 months was horrific before Christmas. Boring, slow, crap football.
Yeah,
but then it clicked after Christmas because Rom clicked into place as well. And it was better by the end. But then the next 2 seasons were terrible.
Oh, awful. Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. And we weren't winning. Maybe so it made it worse.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, of course you would.
We needed Rom.
Yeah. Well, no, but of course you would. Listen,
you needed Rom to get him out of trouble, basically.
Well, yeah. And you would put up with Allardyce, wouldn't you? If you won all the time, you wouldn't like it, but you'd go, well, we win every week. Again, it comes down to what you want, doesn't it? Do Atletico Madrid fans love the way they play football, or have they loved the fact that the manager's a loon, so you can identify with him, and they've been quite successful with the football that they've played? Don't know, because I don't know them. So I don't speak to many, so they could say, it's amazing, I hope we never change. They might go, I hate the way we play. I don't know. Who knows? The
challenges for clubs like that who get invested in such a, if you like, negative approach, is when the manager changes. How do you adapt to a different manager? Because there won't be another one of them, will there?
Not quite.
Who are certainly not on the touchline.
No, not on the touchline, grabbing his plums and all that.
Committed to play exactly as I say.
Yeah. No, it's interesting.
A good comparison of those is actually like if you compare Chelsea fans to Tottenham fans. Like Tottenham fans are much more, from the ones that I've met, they're more about the beauty of the game and like wanting the game to be played in a certain way. Whereas Chelsea fans, for the vast majority, from what I've met, don't care. It's
just want to win.
It's about the end result. You have to play slow, boring football, but the end result is you win 1-0. That's fine. Whereas most Spurs fans, if you look at for Mourinho and Conte, they were basically tolerating the boring football if it meant they were going to win something. But the thing is, when you do lose those games, the frustration for that fan base was a lot higher because it was results based football without the results at times.
I think you're absolutely right. They were putting up with it while they're winning, and it almost becomes, doesn't it? It's bloody boring, and we're losing.
That's the problem. Yeah. If you win, DW says, I'd rather be a Chelsea fan then. Well, you win and you will, won't you? If you're winning, you will. And Chelsea have done a lot of things that you would, if you were doing like a a playbook of how to be successful. You wouldn't do half the things Chelsea do. Would you sack your manager every 18 months?
But you talk about that
they
manager.
Win trophies.
You talk about that manager, who you don't like or didn't like at the time. Who infamously said, "I'd rather lose 5-4 than win 1-0." In that moment, you're not cut out for this job, particularly at this club.
I don't want to score set pieces.
That's
right. It's parasite football. The man literally won an FA. The only thing he ever won off a set piece.
That's right,
in the 90th minute. Yeah. But he's to be fair, he's a nice fella though, Roberto.
He's a very nice man, yeah.
But there you go. Yeah, I'd rather win 1-0 off a set piece than lose 5-4.
Interviews well as well, obviously.
He's great for listen.
He must do.
I spent a couple, some time with him. He's a great fella, but I wouldn't want to manage my football club.
I remember I sat next to him at a dinner, and he was talking about the RS of the day, and his attitude was, "They're just a counter-attacking team." Like, again, that's not allowed. You're not allowed to counter-attack. You're not allowed to score from set pieces. What's the point of defending? That's the dark arts, Oops.
He's like a purist, isn't he?
An excess purist.
Yeah. I've always thought he'd be a tremendous technical director, like a sporting director.
For Belgium.
I think he'd be fantastic at sorting your academy out, getting you playing a certain way, and you can see talent and stuff.
And let someone a bit more pragmatic actually pick the side.
It's difficult because you've got it. Can you change what your beliefs are? That's what it comes down to. He couldn't, could he? First season, he had Moyes' defence fused with his
a little sprinkling,
attack and bit, sprinkling, leaving it. Worked really well. Got to the summer, changed it all.
Crazy.
I'd be interested to see as well how Sean approaches the transfer when they're coming up, because I'm not really sure what his targets will be, other than obviously a number 9 is going to be the main thing for him, because we need it. We need a new striker. We don't need a backup for Dom. We need basically a Dom replacement, because we can't rely on him at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how he molds the team. Do you guys think he'll stick with the 4-5-1, or do you think he'll try and mold it more into like the 4-4-2? Or I mean, the 4-4-2, like he did with Burnley, is probably more just down to what he had, and he just thought that was the best formation for the team. What do you guys think, 4-5-1, or do you think he'll try the 4-4-2?
I think he because you just alluded to it really. We're from Burnley, is he'll play what he thinks is best for the players he's got. He can't play 4-4-2 here because we haven't even got one of the two, never mind two of the two. But yeah, I mean, in the summer, and we've been talking, haven't we, about businessy stuff. It's have you got the money to get the right kind of player in the first place? But
I think he'd play if he had freedom in his budget, say, and he had a pot of money. I think he'd try and get better wide players who would score goals, and he'd have a centre forward, but he'd want I think he'd want the insurance of the 3 in midfield.
I do,
because it enables us out of possession to be either 4-5-1 or 4-4-2.
Exactly right.
Whereas I think if you ping yourself down at a 4-4-2 and you lose a midfield battle, you one of your strikers has to have the ability to drop in as a 10 and help you out, and you sacrifice on what he does. What it needs is our wide players to score more goals. Now, neither Iwobi or McNeil score enough goals in them areas. So I think he would want at least one more winger who would come in instead of one of those two
with pace,
with the goals and the pace, and then it frees Iwobi up to either be a number 10 off the striker, or he could play off the left.
I agree.
It also leaves McNeil in the team to work up and down, but you've got to have the centre forward to make it all work. And right now, like you've just said, we haven't even got the centre forward at the moment, have we? So we've got a kid who's developing, we've got a winger playing up front, we've got one that's not fit for purpose for us, and we've got one that's not fit. So that's where we are right now. Like, Chris, I'm going to chase you because we've got time for one more caller before we go, but it was good. It was lovely to speak to you. Take it easy.
I was about to say I've got to go get food anyway.
Good man, go and get your food, get some sleep, learn your songs, and I'll speak to you soon.
And tell us where the gig is.
Take care. Ta-ra, Chris. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra. Right, just before we go to Eric, who we've got waiting, Phil just says, quick question for John. How does the 105 million over 3 years reconcile to our losses of income? Probably double that, or is it the average over 3 years? Because I think what Phil means, and you see this a lot, is you see that number of 370 million, and then you go, hang on, we can only lose 105 million. So really, we've lost like 3 times as much what you're allowed to lose. But then I've seen then other people then break that down and go, well, isn't that actually because it's a loss here and it's a loss there? How does it break down?
Well, there's a mixture between, the difference between actual losses, i.e. what the company has lost.
Yeah.
Which is the headline figure, high 300s, and what are allowed under profitability and sustainability, right? Now, we know the losses are 105 that you're allowed, but there's lots of things that don't count against the losses.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, any money we spend on the stadium could be included in our headline loss. Let's call it 400 million, just to make it simple.
Yeah.
But if we've lost 400 million quid and 400 of it was on the stadium, in profit and sustainability, we wouldn't have lost anything.
Because it's on the stadium.
Because it's on the stadium.
Okay.
The women's team doesn't count.
Yeah.
Other various categories and so on. And what Everton have put into those categories is things like COVID and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's the reason that it is what it is. Yeah. So short answer to the question is, on my numbers, right, it's about 165 mil loss over the 3 reporting periods when you're allowed 105. So that's why when the show goes out, we talked about earlier on, people should watch it and hopefully it'll illustrate what that really means. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers the question.
Dwight McNeil has been really good lately, by the way. He has been working hard. His clearance the other night from Porro in the first half underneath it was tremendous. Brilliant. Switched on. Brilliant. He's got much better.
He ran twice as fast as I've ever seen him run before.
Yeah, he did. He's done. Deitch has got him playing. He's done really well. He's got to add more goals. But I said this last week with Wobie and people took it totally that they what I'm trying to explain about the need more goals is their players in our attacking areas. And in your attacking areas, you need goals. Everton Football Club have scored 24 goals this season. They've been in the team most of the season, those 2 players. They haven't scored. They don't score enough goals. We haven't got a striker. For Everton to get better and better, there's got to be more goals. So it's like a goalie letting in 3 goals a game every week, but he makes 3 saves. You go, it'd be 6 if it wasn't for him. I know, but he's still letting 3 in.
That's right.
It's like you've got to improve. They've got to improve. But McNeil's has been really good of late, which is good. Right, let's go to Eric, who's our final caller. Which? Oh, hang on. Sorry there, Eric, hang on. Sorry, Ped sent me something.
We need earpieces. That's what we need, yeah. Never sent it to me. So
is this
on you?
Oh, you're playing this clip. Speaking of singers,
this is why I should have been done 5 minutes ago.
After this, because we were talking to Chris, who is a singer, learning 1 million songs. Check out Tom Davis singing with the DMAs. Here we go. Okay, that's it.
We've got you now, I think.
The DMA's album is out now. To celebrate its release, we're offering Everton fans a 10% discount on both the Deluxe Digital and the Craft CD using the code HowManyBlues. 100% of the profits of these sales will be donated to Everton in the community.
That's nice.
The offer is valid until 12 p.m. GMT tomorrow, Thursday the 6th of April. The link is on our Twitter account and in the comments. So go and do that. If you like the DMAs, go and download, get that album. That's all good, and helping Everton in the community. Use the discount code HowManyBlues. There you go. Right, we are going to Eric, final caller of the night. Eric Howell, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. This technology stuff is crazy. I'm not. If this was available 10 years ago, I might still be doing podcasts.
Yeah. Pat does say that.
But it's good to be able to hear you guys. The quality is awesome. This stuff is really cool to be able to connect halfway across the world and be able to call in and hear you guys and feel connected to the club.
Yeah, it's great. Listen, we
Crystal clear.
We have, it's brilliant. We have a lot of Americans on. It's great to be able to chat. We've had Sweden tonight as well. It's great to be able to chat to people all over the world, and obviously you get your point across. Where are you at the moment, Eric? You're in Kansas at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas. I'm heading to grab some quick lunch and then back to work.
God, top man. What do you want to say? How are you feeling about Everton then at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, since Sean's come in, I don't fear any team that we come up against. I'm not instantly just like, oh, this is gonna suck. I feel like we have a chance at the beginning of the match, every match. Doesn't matter who we're playing. Yeah. We saw that against City, right? We saw that against Chelsea. I mean, the fact that we can go down a goal and it's not doom and gloom at the moment. I feel like we have some grit, and we can fight back into a match if we need to. You guys were talking about style with Martinez and Moyes and all of that. For me, it's always the hard yards, right? It's whoever can put in a shift, grind it out. It's the Yakubu throwing a shoulder into somebody. It's the Holgate shoving somebody off the pitch. It's the Tark tackles, right? It's that little bit shithousery kind of thing that we've been missing for quite a few managers that I want back in our club. I want some passion, right? I want somebody to go out there and run through that brick wall, right?
We seen that tackle the other night, didn't we? The Tarkovsky one on the edge of the box. You know? Was it on Kane?
That was great.
It was a tremendous tackle.
Did Tom leave a few on the houses as well?
Completely clean and nothing held back, right?
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
that's what is going to get Goodison involved immediately is something like that, right? You need to get the scores of crazies something riled up, right? and
they're all in the first 10 rows, aren't they?
Do it.
Oh, that does it. We've seen the video clip of the older gentleman, haven't we, who's celebrating at Michael Keane's goal. You know, that encapsulates what
the
football is about, the noise and all of that. Yeah. That's what encapsulates.
Well, I'm sure you guys heard me from Kansas while at the stadium whenever that ball went in, because I know my wife was on a call working from home in the other room, and she thought something like something happened. Yeah, she knew something happened, right? There was no doubt in it. So what a strike!
You were a bit livelier than the last time you were with you then, Eric. Yeah, after that Minnesota debacle. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, that was brutal.
It's in the past now.
Yeah. I got a fist bump Frank Lampard.
There you go.
that was probably the best thing he's done for us.
Oh dear. Leaving is probably the best thing.
All right, John. All right. Yeah, actually, he Go on, Eric.
Yeah. Just with the new manager, it's different. It's different in a good way, and hopefully we can keep getting points and get further up, and then who knows what can happen, right? Hopefully we can just build. I just want to build something other than a stadium. I want a club.
Yeah, listen, we've got to negotiate these shark-infested waters that we're in at the moment, with everyone wanting to give us a kick and take a bite out of us. And you know what? A lot of them have got the right to do that as well, the way we've been. We've got to just negotiate that. If we can get safe and get through this independent commission thing, then maybe we can start.
Insane.
Yeah. Well, it is, isn't it? And that's what it was like. But hopefully, I'd like to say we never seen it coming, but sat in that stadium at Minnesota 4-0 down, I think we were all looking at each other going, this looks just a little bit worrying. But there was a belief that we'd get better players in, wasn't there, and strikers in and all that. But let's hope that we do survive, and the manager maybe can put in them building blocks that mean that this season becomes a thing of the past, and we can at least be mid-table and comfortable, in March of every year.
Chilled season.
Chilled. I don't want that for too long. I want to be heading to Europe, but you know what I mean. Just right now, it'd be nice, wouldn't it, to just be relaxed.
As those negative numbers fix themselves, let's have an easy.
Let's have it nice and calm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to survive and then have a couple of Moisey years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yep.
Good
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Great to talk to you, Eric.
Have a good afternoon.
Enjoy your lunch and have a good afternoon in Kansas. Take it easy.
Cheers.
All right, say hi to the family for us. Take care.
Will do.
Ta-ra, pal. Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ra. There you go. Eric in Kansas there. We are massive all over the world, as West Ham would say. No, it's great. Listen, it's great to speak to Evertonians all over the world. It's dead easy. I can't even take the headphones off. What's gone on? They're just going to sit here. I'm like Balotelli. Why couldn't I get them off? Another good show. It was good. Yeah, why always me? Yeah. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel. Means we can keep growing. Also, subscribe to Toffee TV Football. No Everton stuff on there, just general football. Get involved with that one as well. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments. Chris wants to clarify he's not a singer, he's just a guitarist, if you say so, Chris. Yeah, and
better guitarist than Ned, though.
He is a better guitarist, yeah. He is. There's got fluffing hell. But Ed Sheeran isn't. There you go. Listen,
Chris is better than Ed Sheeran.
Chris is better than Ed Sheeran.
He was saying Ed Sheeran ain't famous because of guitar playing, because he's a
But we're not going there again, Ned. This leads to nutmegs outside. And Ped's done that to you already. Right, listen, thanks very much for watching. Big thanks to John for coming on as well. Take it easy. We'll see you later. Bye.